If you listen closely, you can hear pain, struggle. You see some survive, most fall short. The ghetto, one way in, a million ways out. Where is the key? The path? Who do we follow? This is a story about a kid named Kevin, a corner story. This is where it all started, in the streets of New York, surrounded by gangs, drugs, money, and violence. Welcome to A Corner Story, Season 1.
My name is DJ Joe Iyce.
The Collective.
And I got a story to tell.
Don't talk to me about a land of the free and the home of the brave until everybody's free.
It's Joe Iyce on your radio. Joe Iyce on your radio.
My name is Leroy Brown, aka LB, and I come from Corona, Queens, 98th Street, 35th Avenue. And my homie Joe Iyce comes from 99th Street, 35th Avenue, right around the corner.
Born and raised Corona, Queens, September 17th, 1984. Corona, Queens is a beautiful place. There's a lot going on, but if you're not involved in that shit that's going on, to you it's a beautiful place.
Corona's a place that got a lot of history in it, and I could break it down to where I want to go first with it. Like Malcolm X lived out there. That's why they did the first house bombing, but that was in Elmhurst. That was connected to Corona. A lot of people consider it, the same thing.
And the house Negro always looked out for his master. When the field Negroes got too much out of line, he held them back in check.
And I saw all of the fire, and I saw smoke, and I heard the glass being broken, on the side windows on the left.
There's a picture when he has a gun at his window, and that picture is a big famous poster. That's where he did that picture at. It's in a lot of the movies, and one of the things I watched, all of them, all the Malcolm X that played Malcolm X, and retold that story.
And Malcolm has repeatedly accused black Muslims of threats against him. Malcolm, his wife, and 4 young children were home asleep when the bomb exploded, as she explained. The house itself has been the object of controversy between Malcolm and the black Muslims. The Muslims contend they own the property and have gone to court to force Malcolm to move out. This bombing...
And then you got Louis Armstrong, which is a jazz player, famous jazz player, very historic, come from the Black Renaissance, and he lived over there. I'm not sure if he was from there, but he lived there for a long time from he was young,
I mean, you got stuff from the mob, from the Genovese family, who everybody knows if you know anything about the mafia. It's huge in Corona. I mean, it's so much, but for me it was more about the music. It was always about the music.
There's another thing about Corona, like it's well, let me just say Queens, and it's connected with a lot of the mafia, the Genovese, John Gotti, and all those guys, Gambinos, had a lot of, what do you call what's that street? Corona Avenue, where the Italian icy place is. That's still one of the famous icy places. That's where a lot of the times we're at that I'm speaking upon.
From the park jams to my dad was a DJ, you know what I'm saying? So I never really wanted to be a DJ. I never had any thoughts of being a DJ. I just thought they were cool. Never thought that I would one day become a DJ. My cousin is DJ Polo from Polo and G-Rock, the infamous Juice Crew. Anybody who knows anything about hip-hop for real, the Juice Crew is the fucking originators of so many different sounds, you know what I'm saying? And that goes from members like Big Daddy Kane, to Biz Markie, to Cool G Rap, fucking MC Shan, Roxanne Shante, legendary New York shit, hip hop shit. I'm literally the kid going to the park jams that niggas see in documentaries and shit, but not realizing what I'm really involved in, what I'm really around, who these people really are. later on down the line, I hear that, you know, these people were Cool Herc, you know what I'm saying, Eric B and Rakim, like, in the park. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here, history is happening, and I'm just like, this is cool. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know until I get older, and then, you know, I go back and niggas is telling me who these people are, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I was right there when that happened. Like, yeah, so, you know, growing up in New York, it's a whole different kind of lifestyle. Like, I moved from New York when I was 13, and from 0 to 13, I was like a 19-year-old mentally when I went anywhere else. Like, it's so hard to explain, but I tell you this, and this is true story, all facts. And man, 5th grade, me, my cousin Travis, and my boy Marcus, we went to the school in Long Island City. It's called PS 141, right? So we used to have to catch the public transportation. Now this shit is crazy because I can't imagine my kid catching public transportation right now in the 5th grade to school. You know what I'm saying? So we have bus passes. So we catch public transportation to school. Some days we chose to walk. We used to go to the corner store and buy St. Ides Miller Genuine Draft and drink them shits on the way to school. I was in the 5th fucking grade. The 5th grade. Wasn't no adults buying this shit. Like, I was buying it. Travis was buying it. Marcus was buying it. And I don't know if these niggas told their parents. I've been told my mom about this shit. But yeah, like, nigga, I was going to school 5th grade. I'm drunk as fuck in school. I don't know if my teachers knew. I don't know if they didn't know. I don't know if they thought, you know, I don't know. But yeah. And guess what happened when school got out? We went and got another one, but this time we went to go play basketball. Like, yeah, New York is different. Like, it's really different. So, there used to be this pool, 99th Street pool. I'll never forget. I lived on 99th Street. So this shit was like 2 blocks up. We could never go in the pool. Like, we was never allowed to go into the pool. Me and my sister was never allowed to go into the pool. I'm like, damn, I want to go to the pool. The whole neighborhood is going to the pool. Why can't we go? Shit is dirty. Like, you know, we in the hood. Like, the pool is fucking dirty. My mom don't trust the chlorine, the lifeguards, the location. She ain't trust none of that shit. So we ain't get to go. We used to visit my aunt in Virginia, and she had a pool in her neighborhood. So we used to go to the pool every day there. So, you know, that shit was cool.
Man, then we could go into hip hop. You know, that's where a lot of you know, monumental hip hop artists come from, such as Kid and Play, Eric B, Cool G Rap, DJ Rob Swift, Jackson Heights, which is, you know, is part of Corona, as we say, and Kwame. It's a lot of various producers. Ron, he's one of the hitmen. I forgot his name. Ron. Excuse me if I don't remember his name, but he's from East Helmhurst. And then we you know, we had a lot to do with music, a lot of impact into the music too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, you hear a lot of people like Fat Joe, which was more modern. You know, more you know, after that, not modern now, but like after that, and a lot of people shout out Corona. Then we got the Beat Nuts. Forgot to say about the Beat Nuts. We got the Beat Nuts. It's a lot of people, man. I could go all day. You know what I'm saying? Actors, we got Keith Davids. You know, we was very close with his family. Me and Joe Iyce. We was very, very cool with them. You know, his grandmother, his mother, his father, his nephews. We knew, you know, he was real close to his family. You know, he used to live there. He was close to my aunt. You know what I mean? We was all in the neighborhood. We all was, you know, around each other. And then not too far from Corona, you got Queensbridge, you got Left Rack, which is in Corona, but it's in projects in Left Rack. That was big back in the day. A lot of people come out of there, like artists such as Noriega, E Money Bags, what's his name? Akinelli. Akinelli comes from Left Rack, which is stationed in Corona. You know, then, you know, they used to call that Iraq. And they used to call Queensbridge Kuwait, which is not that far. It's probably like 20 minutes away. So it's not that far. So we all, you know, we all in the same mix. A lot of legendary people come here, man. Like, there was a movie called Into Deep with LL Cool J, and he called himself God. When he went to Boston, that he came from here. He left here. You know, he was getting his money, coming back and forth here. You know, we you know, a lot of us was in the mix with the people. I can name a lot of people. Then the T-shirt, School of Hard Knocks. You know, you see a lot of people, a lot of artists wearing that as merch. People like Martin Lawrence. You see Martin Lawrence around Kid and Play. You know what I'm saying? Not saying they're the reason, but Queens always had that essence. Like when you mess with us, you gonna go far. And that's how I seen it. Like, you know, everybody. I remember I spoke to a producer. He was like, you know, I knew a lot of people out here for years, and you the only dude that did a lot of stuff for me. And I appreciate. I trust your word. So I think we just, you know, it's a lot of history, man. Then we got the Met Stadium, you know, which is Flushing Park, Flushing Meadows, but that's, you know, same thing. They do a lot of movies there, a lot of TV shows. I saw, you know, Godfather. Godfather of Harlem, I should say. I'm sorry, Godfather Harlem. And they filmed, they did Men in Black. It's a lot that they do the US Open. They got the Scientific Lab. It's a lot going on, man. You know, in Corona, Queens, and I say Elmhurst, who, you know, we stick together. We consider the same because we right down the block from each other, and we all, you know, interact with each other. Yeah, but you know, that's where everything all started.
My mom was born in London, and they moved here. You know, like Jamaicans, that's like the thing back then. They migrate to London and then they come here after. And then she moved to the South Bronx. The South Bronx, anybody know anything about the South Bronx in the 60s, the 70s? That shit is like a third world country. Like, that shit is nowhere that you want to raise your kid. Like, this is not the place you would want to raise your kid. And anytime, shit, not even today. Goddamn. Shout out to everybody from the Bronx, but you know, it ain't it. If you wasn't born and raised there. I got a cousin. His name's DJ Polo, and I never really knew who he was and what he was and is to rap, like, and to music until I got older. Like, I just knew him as my cousin. I never understood, like, Polo and G rap. Like, these niggas was like killing, especially then. Like, they was like the dynamic duo. They was the first real rapper and DJ collaboration that people knew and respected. Like, and you know, it's just my cousin, so I'm just like, damn, shit's crazy. It's cool, but I didn't even know that they were stars back then. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was still in the hood. Everything was normal. These niggas had nice cars, but so did niggas had nice cars before the music. Not everybody, but you know, they were around. But yeah, that shit's crazy. I had a cousin, crazy nigga, crazy. Leroy knows him. He was just known for really being like, he was the bad guy in the neighborhood, like, for real, the bad guy in the neighborhood. To the point where, you know, it's like, when you that nigga and you known for doing certain shit, you know how this shit goes. You know, it's only a matter of time before certain shit turns around on you. And when that situation happened, it kind of like woke me up to the point where it made me realize where the fuck I was really at and what was really going on around me. Like, all of that child kind of living my youth train of thought kind of went out the window. I kind of started seeing shit totally different, because now it's like, wait a minute, this shit is for real. Like, we heard the gunshots and we ran and we played, and you know, it was like the shit was normal to us, so we never really thought like anything of it, you know what I'm saying? But when that happened, it was like, whoa. We don't live in like a fun zone. This is not the fun zone. So another incident happens. Another cousin of mine gets into some shit, him and his friends, and they end up going to jail for murder. So now my mom is like, yeah, New York ain't it right now. Like, we gotta get out of here. So she asked me and my sister, do we want to move? And I'm like, hell no, I don't want to move. And the first thing my mom said was, we can move to Virginia where your aunt is. You know she has the pool. You can go to the pool whenever you want. I said, We went there for the summertime, and I was like, you know what, Mom, we can stay. And that's how I ended up in Virginia. Crazy shit. There's too much going on in New York, and she didn't want me to get in the mix of that. And I didn't really want to be in the mix. I mean, I started drinking in the 5th grade. Like, I was smoking weed. Shit, I might have been 10, 11. Yeah, I am now. I've been fucking conditioned in different ways, like from your normal person. I don't know how many people you know. This wasn't like an every other day. Every day we was going to the store, drinking like 5th grade. 5th grade until I was an adult, it was a wrap. That's crazy.
Man. So, I'm Marquis, aka Key, aka DMV Key, aka CEO Key, aka, man, just me. I'm from two places. I used to live in DC. If you know anything about, this area, it's DC, Maryland, Virginia. So I lived it's the DMV. I lived in the D of the DMV. I lived in DC all the way up until I was about 9. Moved to Virginia. I remember moving, before I was about to move to Virginia, I'm like, man, I'm thinking Virginia's gonna be like Saved by the Bell. Like, it's nothing but white kids, white people, plays, all that shit. No. Richmond Highway, it's in Alexandria. That's where I grew up at, man. And, it's like I said, my mom we came from a place where we couldn't go outside and play, and we moved to a place where couldn't come outside and play, at least for a little while.
We moved to Virginia. I never forget. My first day of school was probably the most trying day of my motherfucking life. Now, wait, hold on. I'm moving too fast. So my mom was in Alexandria, Virginia. My dad was in Charlottesville, Virginia. I had to go stay with my dad when I left New York so my mom can get situated. Went to Charlottesville. Hated that shit. Fucking hated that shit. I hated that shit. I had a teacher say to me one time, "Oh, you think you're all that because you're from New York City." I still to this, now I kind of understand what they were trying to say, but that didn't apply to me. Like, that was fucked up. Just because my brain thought faster than that motherfucker. I don't know. Anyway, fast forward, I moved to the place where I forever will call home. The DMV. Alexandria, Virginia. Richmond Highway. And my first day of school at fucking Carl Sandburg was probably the most trying. My first week was probably the most trying week of my life. Day 1. I ride the school bus. I don't know nobody, not a fucking soul. I'm on the bus and I fall asleep. Like, I wake up at school. My fucking shoelaces to my shoes are tied together and they're not. I try to get up and my shit is like stuck together and they tie together and they're not. So I'm like, okay. These niggas are some jokesters out here. Like, alright, okay. So that's the first thing that happens. Later on, I go into the office because I don't know where to go, nothing like it. This is all new to me. In New York, like that shit, literally somebody walks you from the door to the next door. Like they walk you from the door to the next door.
Ended up going to middle school around there. We had two middle schools, Walt Whitman and Carl Sandburg. And I ended up going to, because of where I lived, I ended up going there. I was like right on the line, but because of where I lived, I ended up going to Carl Sandburg. And I don't know if it was the first day. I know it was at some point through the week or like around the first days of school. I remember running into this kid that had a shirt on, right? He had a shirt on, and it looked like a clothing line that I only seen a rapper wear. It was very similar, right? FUBU. LL Cool J wore FUBU. But this nigga had on, it was like a P and a B. So I'm like, nigga, that's not what LL Cool J wear. What is that, peanut butter? I know LL Cool J wear FB, that's FUBU. That's peanut butter. So we laughed about it, and it ended up being Joe Iyce. It ended up being Iyce, and we've been tight ever since. Small fallouts, all types of things, man. But it wasn't nothing that I guess, thinking about it, looking at it to where we are now, obviously it wasn't nothing that we couldn't get through, I ain't gonna go into all of that, that's a lot, I ain't gonna go into all of that, but yeah, just his journey, man, just his journey, just seeing it. And I tell him this, I tell him all the time, man, like, I remember where he was, bro. We started at the Weon, and for any of those that's from Alexandria, Richmond Highway, I'm talking about probably as far down as motherfucking Fredericksburg. If you lived in Fredericksburg around 2008 and you ain't had nowhere to party, you was coming up Alexandria, down Landmark Mall, coming to a party that we was at. You know what I mean? And just to see him turn into this, I know this dude done a lot for motherfuckers in the city. In the city, in Maryland, in Virginia, put niggas on. Put me on. Put me on. Put me on. So,
met a couple friends, a couple guys from the neighborhood I ended up clicking with, and shit ended up getting cool. At the end of the day, in my first day of school, I sat in somebody else's chair. I never forget it too. We cool now, nigga, but I didn't forget this shit. This nigga named Ron Davis. Yeah, Ron. We was in shop class, and I sat in his chair or some shit, and I didn't want to get out the nigga chair. And the nigga got mad and threw a chair from across the room at me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in Virginia? Like, I've never had these problems in New York, where I felt at the time was probably way more grimier than Virginia. And my first day of school, like, everybody's trying me. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Either I'm going to have to make an example out of somebody, or I'm just going to have to fucking cool the fuck out and stay out the way. And me being a nigga who I am, I chose to cool the fuck out and stay the fuck out the way. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to make a problem out of a problem. I know how to make solutions out of shit. I know how to get to where I am today out of that shit. You understand what I'm saying? So I made it make sense. That's it. I ain't let nobody chump me or shit like that, but I did have my moments where I was like, you know, I chose my battle. I mean, you know, I did have my moments where I chose my battle. Alright.
The creation of the Go-Go Band. I remember that. Man, I mean, it's so many things, you know. At times I wish you wouldn't have been with the people that you was with, but that was around the time when we had our falling out. Some of that shit that happened, realistically speaking, some of that shit that happened would probably never have happened, or we both would have came out of that situation looking the exact same. You know what I'm saying? So
I was probably like, the crazy shit is I turned into that nigga who was just like, I was able to go everywhere. Even though I was repping what I was repping, and I was fucking with who I was fucking with, I was able to, like, everybody fucking with me. I was able to go everywhere and just be cool. And where I was from ain't really matter, or like, you know, unless some other shit came up. But that was out of my control and niggas wasn't trying to hit it, but that's another story. Sorry. I got thrown off real quick thinking about something. Damn.
I don't know if he remembers this, but I remember he got a DUI. DUI, was drunk out of his mind. Somebody told me about I was locked up. So when I first got locked up, somebody told me about it, and I think I ended up talking to him about it, and I told him it was right out I got my sentence. I'm like, bro, like, they just handed me all this time. You want to be in here with me? You want to be in here with me, or you want to do what we've been trying to do since me standing on the speaker in the club? You know what I mean? You want to do that, or you want to be in here with me where I'm at now? And I'm talking about maybe the next summer. The next, because that was August. So the next summer, I think he was on tour with Future. And they shit my ass. They shit me.
So Virginia, like, it's really like, I had to find my way quick because it just wasn't gonna work for me if I didn't maneuver or figure out who I was gonna fuck with and who I wasn't gonna fuck with. I don't know. I just had to figure it out fast because niggas was really trying to niggas and I wasn't with that shit.
So, 2007, alright, I get into it with some niggas. I front the nigga some work. A nigga leave with the work, don't ever come back with. Only reason why I put the nigga on was because he was my father's best friend's son. You know what I'm saying? And I knew the nigga, but like, he wasn't my man. You know what I'm saying? He was just my dad's man's son. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, that nigga dad ended up being locked up. Dad doing like 25. He probably home now though. But anyway, his dad was doing like 25. And his mom moved him down to Atlanta and shit. And so he was up here. And he was running with some niggas that I ain't like them niggas, but I didn't really interact with them enough to not really like them. I just knew that they was niggas that was younger than me. So this gonna come full circle about how Iyce is involved in this shit in a minute. So anyway, I front the nigga some work, he run off, he'll never come back. I end up catching up to them niggas, we get into an argument, and they leave. The next day, I didn't talk to nobody, not Iyce, not Turtle, I didn't talk to nobody, none of my men. So motherfucking, the next day, they come to my house, same amount, it was like 7 of them, come to my house, like 7 deep, and now they want to fight, but it's 7 of them, so I'm like, I already know, they know I can fight, I'm not gonna get a fair one, fuck I'm gonna do? It's 11 o'clock in the morning, I know none of my friends are up, you know what I mean, what I'm gonna do? Well, what they didn't know is I just bought a 45, probably like 2 months before that. Just bought one. I hadn't even shot it yet. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, alright man, fucking nigga knocked on my door. I'm like, alright, fuck it. Grab a joint out of the closet, go down there, start shooting. Nobody get hit. They leave their car. They come back. I'm getting ready to take the nigga car. They leave the car. I'm getting ready to take the nigga car. I end up getting shot. Boom, in the face. All right. Shot in the face. That's where that scar came from. So I end up getting shot in the face. And anyway, I'm in the hospital. And so, I don't know if this is it wasn't the first day, because the first 3 days I was in a coma. I didn't come out the coma until Wednesday. It was a medically induced joint, but I ain't come out the coma until Wednesday. So probably Thursday or Friday, the detective came and this motherfucker said, so did this have anything to do with the bank robbery? And so I'm like, what the fuck? Well, yeah, he has a friend that works at a bank, and the bank got robbed today. Or the bank got robbed the day he got shot. I'm like, the fuck? My mom was like, the fuck? Like, yeah, his friend. We know that they're friends. And so, yeah, my mom didn't want any, I don't know. My mom was being a mom, man. She didn't know if motherfuckers was coming to finish me off. I'm like, Mom, I'm not John Gotti. Like, yeah, I got into a shootout with some niggas. Nobody's coming up to the hospital to finish what they started. Like, you know what I mean? That's not how it is. But yeah, these motherfuckers said that Iyce robbed the bank. And they said Iyce robbed the bank, and the shooting was because of over some money or something. I'm like, but so here's the inside to that story for anybody that's listening. All right, the police don't know shit unless you tell them. That's just a sidetrack. They don't know nothing unless you tell them. Iyce had nothing to do, as far as still to this day. That was 16 years ago today, right? This year, 16 years ago. Like, to my knowledge, still 16 years later, he had nothing to do with the bank robbery. You know, and I think he would have told me at least in one of those 16 years. Like, yeah, man, you know, we really did rob the bank. No. So I say that to say the police don't know shit.